Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. In this tutorial, we are firstly laminating some lace. You can use old curtains for this project or even napkins instead of lace. And then I'm going to share with you at least 13 project ideas that you can make with your laminated lace. All right, let's get started. I pulled out all of the lace that I have, and I've got some wide lace like this. Then I've got this kind of lace, and I love the lace that's symmetrical on both sides rather than this kind of thing where you have one straight edge and then a different edge on the other side. But anyway, I'm going to use everything. And then I have large pieces like this that I'm going to cut down to fit into the laminating sheet. So I only have the A4 laminator. I don't have the larger one, the A3. So I'm just going to work with what I have, obviously, and I'm going to prepare the sheets before I start putting everything through the laminator. I think it's important to use lace that's quite thin, nothing very, very thick. All right, that's one ready to go. I'm also going to try a thicker lace and see what happens. I think I'm going to try this one too. I've been hoarding it for years. All right, let's laminate and see what works and what doesn't. That's looking pretty good. And next. Not bad. This is a thick lace and this one does not seem to be doing as well. All right, so this one didn't do that well. I can already see that only the edges are sealed, but everything in here, not really, because it's very, very thick. I'm gonna put it through twice and see if that does anything. I don't think it will, but let's give it a try. Of course, that didn't do anything, but it's still so very satisfying. It's so slow. All right, I'm gonna do the rest off camera and I'll see you next century when I'm done. All right, this one went a little bit crazy in there. So what I do when this happens, and it happens every now and again, I just put it in the other way. Better the second time around. Still not perfect, but definitely better. Guess what happened? It's all stuck in there. I have switched it off and now I'm gonna attempt to unjam. I'm gonna try pulling it from this way. Hello, baby. Maybe I can salvage this lace, but look how cool that is. And this has happened to me once before with this machine. I can't remember how I got it out, but clearly I got it out and it continued working. So what I'll do is I'll just switch it on again and hope for the best. Okay, that worked. So the machine is working. It did curl up again at the top, so I might put it through again. It's coming out the other side, baby. Come to mama. Perfect. I have to say, I've had this machine for about 20 years. So, you know, if it got ruined today when I was pulling the stuff out, I don't feel like I would be shedding a tear over it, in all honesty. Sometimes this machine makes weird noises and I just feel like it's time to get a new one anyway. But I'm gonna keep using it until it dies. All right, let's check out today's yield.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
What a nice, perfect round number, 20. Didn't even plan. Okay, now it's time to create stuff. I have been real busy. Not only have I created all the projects I'm about to show you, but I've also been overseas, as you may notice from my tanned hands. I'm really excited to get back into the swing of things, so let's just get on with it. Project number 1 is journal covers. So we'll get to the ones on the bottom in a moment, but I want to show you this one. Basically, very self-explanatory, really. I made a journal and I used one of the pieces as a journal cover. Simply folded it in half. I added a closure on both sides and bound the journal in. I had this piece from when I did my video on using staples to like accentuate projects and stuff, and I thought it was quite nice to have something kind of peeking through, even though I think white pages, I mean, you can still see the lace and stuff, but a little bit of a dark contrast gives it a bit more appeal. And then I have just pages, you know, different tea dyed and avocado dyed and all sorts of different pages and ruffles, and the closure, in case you're wondering why I did the how I did the closure. How did I do it? I actually did this before I went overseas, so I have to remind myself. This is like a little button. I obviously punched holes through the button and through the laminated lace thing, and there's a bit of glue under there. I popped the ribbon through and tied a knot on the inside. Quite simple, really. And then I did exactly the same here on the back side. How cool does that look? All right, so that's the closure, and that's that journal. And now let me show you these two, in case if you don't want to bend your laminated lace in half like I did with this one here to create a cover. You know, if you don't want to do this kind of thing, then you can just use the whole piece like I did here to create this kind of a book, flip up or even flip to the side book. So for this type of thing, this is all avocado dyed papers, very grungy kind of looking papers. For this type of a binding, I used my Zuta binder, I think it's called. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I got mine secondhand, and then, you know, I love this kind of a spiral binding thing. You can get machines that do that. They're not very expensive or anything like that. And then you can create this kind of a thing. Here, I also played around with some bling. And because I've been overseas for so long, my brain is simply not remembering what any of these things are called. So anyway, here I used some tea-dyed cardstock and created this type of a look or type of a book. All right, let's move on to idea number 2. Idea number 2 is belly bands. For this kind of thing, as you can see, I used the narrow lace or lace ribbon. It's a narrow thing that I can create a little belly band, and all I did is sewn it up the top and down the bottom. I think with laminate, it's better to sew if you can rather than glue, unless you have like a glue suitable for plastic to hold plastic down, because this is after all plastic. I wouldn't trust, you know, double-sided tape or glue sticks or any of that nonsense. Okay, that very simple. But then of course I had to create a little booklet to kind of go, and if you can imagine this, look at this one, little waterfall, so simple to make, little waterfall booklet. And then I have 2 pages ready to go into a signature. So when I'm making a journal, I wouldn't be putting both into a, you know, same journal, but I have something ready to go. Really simple and beautiful and effective. Idea number 3 is pockets, and you can have so much fun with this. And they're nice and sturdy. I love the fact that, I mean, you don't have to laminate lace. You can make a pocket with just the lace, but the lamination, of course, gives it sturdiness. And I love using this kind of thing on pages that you can't write on, such as, you know, these coloring pages kind of thing. I love the fact that it's see-through the pocket. And again, I made some pages ready to go in a journal. This one here, this is a large pocket here, and I would prefer this lace to be a bit more see-through, like here. So when you put stuff in, that's, I suppose, something to keep in mind. If it's really quite busy and thick like this, you can't really see anything that goes into the pocket. This can be a journal cover very easily. And just to demonstrate what I mean when this goes in, I mean, you can see it, but you can't really discern what it is because the lace is so thick and busy. But anyway, it looks quite nice. I think it will do well as a journal cover. And then this here is a page ready to go on a journal. Look at this. How beautiful and Christmassy does this look? This in itself could be a journal cover. The only issue is this isn't really cardstock, so it's not sturdy enough. But I love the look of this laminated lace on this beautiful red kind of shiny paper. I wish it was cardstock. But there we have it. It can be this way or the other way. Two little lace pockets. And of course you can just go crazy with this idea. Of course you can have, I'm sure I don't need to explain further. It makes perfect sense. But you can use smaller pockets like this for a little tag. These are all my leftover pieces. I was contemplating, look at how cool does this look. What I wanted to do with this piece but didn't get around to it is cut it in half, of course, here. And then create kind of sew one piece down here and then one piece up here. So it's like a little ephemera kind of a holder, I suppose, for, you know, ephemera, postage stamps and ticket stubs and all fun stuff we like to put into pockets. I hope you're still with me because it has been a little while since I last filmed and I feel like it will take me a little while to get back into swing of things. Let's move on to idea number 4. I love this one. It's really simple and obvious. We're making pouches, or I made some pouches rather. These two were done exactly the same way, where I just sewn the pockets shut here, brought this flap over the top and added a circle and string closure just to keep it closed, because I find that with this kind of laminated stuff, it wants to keep opening, especially if you use very thick lace. In fact, it might not work with thick lace because what happens is, see, with this fold, some air pockets get created in there. It's no big deal, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't want to be doing this with this kind of thick lace. It's quite a thick lace, so anywhere I go to fold, it's going to create those ugly air pockets. Well, not necessarily ugly, but it kind of keeps it from closing properly, if that makes sense. I'll show you this one in a second, but I just wanted to do a quick little demo here. So when I'm making a pouch, I'll kind of fold it up like so and then sew this shut. I did some extra steps. If you notice on this one, I did some sewing up the top here and up the top on this side, and that's just for looks. So basically, first you would take it to your machine and sew up the top. Oh, it would be this one here, up the top, because that's the one that you're folding down, or up. Oh, maybe it's best if I just demonstrate without talking, because this one goes up. You want to have a little bit of sewing here. It's not necessary. It's not like, perhaps this was something that I needed to mention. It's not as if this can open, even though I cut right through that. So it is fraying a little bit, but it's not like I can go and open this fully, you know, even though that seal has been broken. But I think I like the sewing just for a nicer finish, a nicer edge. So this goes up, and then you would sew the sides shut. You can go all the way up and around, and you have your little pouch. I would suggest you have a closure, because if you don't, then, you know, it kind of flops right open. You can have, I'm just finding things on my desk now. You can have like little jewelry pieces in there, little pens. It can be a pencil case. It can be a little gift for someone. You can have a little notebook and a pen. I don't know, so many ways that you can use this for. I mean, how would you use any pouch? I like the fact that this is see-through, and I just love it. And then on this one here, I added a little bit of something. I think I was trying to add weight to the flap to keep it closed, but I realized that's not going to do it. And that's when I went in and did the string closure. Okay, next up is an even simpler pouch. But of course I had to make a little something to go inside. Oh, look at that. And this is a journal, just like the one before that I was showing you, that I said it's going to make a nice journal cover. This is exactly the same thing. I used cardstock to make this journal cover and added this beautiful lace, kind of a pocket here up the front. See how it's beautiful, and you can see right through that lace. I love that. And then of course the purple tying in here with these little ruffles that I have. Nothing special, right? Just a few pages bound into the book. Few little things happening, you know. And then of course, to make the journal more special, we have a pouch. Now this is 2 sheets of laminated lace. I have this side and I have this side. I think this is perfect for the thick lace. This kind of a thing, the kind of a thing that you don't really want to bend. So instead of bending to make a pouch, and it makes it smaller anyway, you can just put 2 sheets together and sew them shut. It doesn't get any easier than this. And it can be a little sleeve for documents or beautiful journals. I love this. All right, moving on to project number 5, which is bows. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you here. I do have a die cut, and here it is. I wanted to show it to you. I don't know where you can go and buy this one, because as you can see, I got it for $1 at a craft fair, like I get most of my things secondhand and op shops and so on and so forth, which is why I don't really tell you, you know, give links and things like that, unless I can give links. Okay, so I used this to make the bows. This is more here as an inspiration to get you kind of thinking about all the different types of things that you can make. Perhaps it doesn't have to be bows. Maybe you have a different die cut that you can use on your laminated lace. But I think the bows look so beautiful. And I mean, this would make nice, like, hair clips even, you know. I think what I wanted to show mainly with this project is that you can maneuver it, you can bend it. I used a brad here to keep everything in place, in case you're wondering. Look at this, it can be cut, the lace can be cut, and it's not going to open, it's not going to start fraying, you know, it's going to stay nice and okay, so I was worried that once the lace is laminated, like this one here, if you cut through it, you will be able to open that pouch or the laminating sheets. You're going to be able to open them. So that's what I was worried about. But after doing this project, I realized that that's not actually the case. And I'm holding this off-cut little piece here so I can show you. So this has been, it's sealed on this side, it's cut on this side, and you would assume that you can just go and open that. You probably can. And I'm going to now, but I'm going to have to kind of try and use some force, which isn't the type of thing you'd be doing on projects like this. All right, here we go. I'm trying to kind of, it's not easy, but you can see that the lace is almost glued. And I think what happens is it melts as it goes through the machine. It melts right into that laminating pouch. So cutting your lace down using die cuts, it's not going to destroy it. Look at that gorgeous print. How cool does that look? Okay, moving on to project number 6, which is tags. We're kind of staying within the same type of a thing that I've spoken about just before. So I did use my die cuts to create these tags. And of course, you can just cut out by hand. If you don't have die cuts, you can use your scissors. And then all I did, you can see us made really small tags. I mean, this type of thing, obviously you can't write on it, so you have to get creative on how you're going to use it. So I just embellished the tags, and I think this will look good in journals, in pockets, on presents even. Look at this, I just have some stickers. And that's another thing, like with this laminated thing, a sticker is going to go on there and it's going to stick. It's not going to go anywhere, which is why all of them have stickers apart from these 2 little ones. This one, I happen to find this thing, a sticker that says open alone. So there we have it. I put it on this tag, and then I have these 2 tiny little ones. The way that I'm envisioning this is if you have a journal I'm just trying to find something real quick. If you have a journal with a bow closure at the front, or this is actually the binding, quite thick sari silk there that I use for binding. And then you can have a little attachment here. This doesn't go too well with the colors and everything, but you know, just like a little charm. And of course, like I said before, you can't, usually the tags that we use in journals are there as little canvases, little snippets that you can write on. You can put quotes on there, you can put song lyrics, you can put intention for the day on your little tag in your journal, right? There's so many different ways that you can use a tag. So you have, rather than a full page that you have to fill up, you have a small canvas. But we can't write on these unless we use them as, I don't know, this just crossed my mind, so I don't really know what I'm going to do here, but we can have a little reminder. You know, you can remember to buy milk, whatever, and then easily wipe it off. I mean, I don't know how convenient that is, if I'm being perfectly honest, but this is how you come up with ideas. You try silly things and then you get some great ideas. All right, that's the tags. We are up to idea number 7, which is windows, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm really excited to show you this one. So basically you can see, first of all, let me just say, this is from cutting out the tags, and then I had these pieces left. We're creating little windows, let's just say, first of all. So little windows that you can, oh, look at me over there. No, don't look at me. Put it back in there. So little windows that you can see through. Now this one, oh, I don't know which one to show you first because they all look so beautiful. Let's go with this one. 3 little circles. These are die cuts that I used for something that I'm about to show you. And then all I did is, so I had my lace, which I created a journal cover. That's number 1. Look at how beautiful that looks. I love the idea of making journal covers. That's why I had journal covers as number 1 idea in this video. I used 3 circle die cuts to make these cuts. Then I grabbed a separate piece of acetate, just acetate paper or page, and I popped the stickers on the acetate and sewn around. And I'm using this stretchy lace as a closure. So that might have been a little bit confusing, but it's gonna all make perfect sense now. So again, these are the leftovers from cutting out the tags. So I had that piece of lace. Then I grabbed a second piece of acetate page. I put my laminated lace piece on top of the acetate piece, sewn around. I even did a little bit of sewing here in the middle. And then I glued down a sticker. So, and then, you know, this can be glued on a page or on a journal, and then you can have like a little tag behind so you can see that. I do quite enjoy the look of that. And again here, the negatives from using my die cuts and separate piece of acetate sheet. It doesn't have to be, if you don't have acetate sheets or transparent sheets, you can use, let me raid my bin. Okay, this came straight out of my bin. I have a whole bunch of these bags and I'm throwing these out that have the hole and writing on them. But this is perfect to use instead of acetate sheets. You can even use 2, you know. All right, now let me show you this one. How cool is this little journal? So first of all, it's cardstock pages. I use my wiggly scissors to cut this kind of thing. And I made sure that all of the pages are different kind of lengths so that you have this waterfall effect. Punched some holes. I used jump rings for the binding. This took a little bit of time, but it was fun time. Okay, fun time indeed. And I have some eyelets and of course the window. So this looks quite beautiful, don't you think? And you can see that sewing around. So you can see that acetate under there. You know, it's not even sewn all the way to the edge. I felt like it doesn't have to be. And in fact, it's protecting all of the pages here. Okay, minor details that you probably don't care about. And then again, a journal. You know, what do we have here? Maybe I have some surprises inside. I do have all sorts of fun stuff in here, but I shall not dwell on the journal. Look at this. How cool does this look? And this, yeah, and a pocket. But anyway, we are here to discuss the window. So you can see a simple little thing on the cover makes it really quite nice. Surprise! A lot of you said that you wanted to see Banjo, so here he is. Come here, boy. Come. Banjo, come. Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? Banjo, come here. Give me a hug. Show people you love me. Show the people. Show them. Show them. Yeah, he's a good boy, but that's what. Now look at the camera, Banjo. No. No lickies. You want to do talkies? There he is. He's not a very affectionate, but he's a beautiful dog. He's not too affectionate, but he's a beautiful dog. Yes, you are. There's Banjo. Okay, Banjo, you can go back to sleep now. We'll do the walkies later. Yes, we'll do the walkies later. Sleep now. Okay? Idea number 8 is tabs. Now this is a really simple, straightforward idea where you just use little bits of that lace as tabs in your journal. I quickly made this book. I did the no-sew tab binding. I have a tutorial on the tab binding if you want to have a look. And I just put some tabs on the pages and they're kind of like staggered throughout. So with these tabs, I also do have die cuts, but you don't actually have to have, you know, you can just, I'll show you that next, but you can just cut it out by hand and have little tabs. I mean, anything can make a tab. You can have a piece of whatever I got here on my desk. I use this tea bag that's sitting on my desk to repair my nails when they get broken. I use super glue and tea bag when I get, like this nail broke all the way up here the other day. This is really off topic, isn't it? See what I mean? I forgot how to film. Why do I even have this? Oh yes, I was going to say anything can be a tag. A piece of tea bag can be a tag if you scrunch it up and staple it. A tab, not tag. Staple it and there's your little tab. You can have a full journal full of tabs, which really appeals to me. Do I have one to show you? Kind of. This is a recent video of mine and you can see all of these things, pieces of fabric, lace even here, and fabric and handles from a paper bag. All these things can be tabs, so anything can be tab. Bit of a ribbon kind of folded in half, a little bit of whatever this is, you know. This journal was made with only things in my junk drawer. I'm gonna link this video if you want to have a look. I rummaged through my junk drawer and gave myself a challenge of making something. In this case it was a journal out of only the things in my junk drawer. So anyway, those are the tabs. So really you don't have to go and laminate lace to make tabs, but there's something pretty cool about these tabs. In fact, that's my next idea. Idea number 8 is a pen loop. I love this. I love this. You know why? Yes, anything can be a tab, absolutely, but can anything be a pen loop? Probably not. The reason why this can be a pen loop or a pencil loop in this case is because it's sturdy. It's sturdy. It's not like flimsy fabric. Things that you put in there don't fall out. They don't slip through. That's really, and this isn't even tight. Look, if I do this, then it's gonna fall out. It's the structure of this thing that's quite sturdy that keeps that, you know, stay in place. However, if we were to try a different type of a thing, like let's say for example this one here, you know, will it just go through? Yes, it will. Okay, I think you get the point. I'm not going to keep demonstrating. Any kind of leftover piece, this is all I have left. This is probably too small. Any kind of leftover piece that you have, or even, you know, wide lace like this can be used, and you simply just fold it where you want it. Like let's say I made it this big. Okay, it's quite big. Let's say that's my tab. Will it hold the pen? It actually, oh, I'm so proud of myself right now. I mean, look how large that is. Yeah, okay, and it's like the structure of it is like stiff, so it's keeping it in place. All right, let me just quickly show you this little booklet that I made. So as you can see, when you're making the tabs, you don't need to have die cuts for tabs. You can just use like I've just demonstrated, a strip of whatever you have and fold it in half. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can staple it on. You can use your stapler. So here I have, this is actually from a tissue box, and I covered the tissue box. I wish the tissue box was this pretty. This is scrapbook paper I used to cover the tissue box, and then this image here is from a book page. You can see it kind of on the inside. You can see it's from a book page, but nobody's gonna like look in there. Then I have a little tag here, a little pull-out thing, and I used fabric washi tape to do the binding, the tab binding, exactly the same as what I've shown you just before. I love how this looks. It gives me like a cottage, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? See this? Like a cottage, what is the term? Cottage vibe. I don't know. That's not. Mountain cottage. I'm imagining like a little cottage here and there's some animals around here, and you know, that's the kind of vibe it's giving me. It looks so cool. And these are index cards. I actually bought the index cards overseas in Croatia. I was in Croatia. And then I went and I bought some tea, and I actually tea dyed. So I did black tea and forest fruit, I think the tea is called. Anything that has blueberries in it will give you this beautiful blue color. So pen loops, I think this must be one of my favorite ideas. I'm not sure why I put it all the way down to project number 9, but we are now ready to move on to project number 10, which is bookmarks. And this doesn't look like anything special, really. It's just a little bit of lace, laminated, and then I have this red up the top. You can have a little thing, you know, a piece of ribbon up the top to have it like a bookmark for your journal. This journal is in progress. This doesn't really go well. It can be for your journal, it can be for a book that you're reading, but you get the idea. It's a little bookmark. You want it perhaps slightly larger than your book or not. Totally up to you. Okay, but I think I actually like this idea a little bit better, and I'll just quickly show you. And I'm going to link a video down below that I made a while ago, where I made all these fabulous bookmarks. Look how exquisite they look. I am hoarding them. I think it's been about 2 years since I made that video, and indeed I still have. Look how cool. So basically the way this works, it's a bookmark, but it's supposed to be exposed up the top and down the bottom. All right, let's zoom out a bit. So this is what I mean. When you have the bookmark in there, it's hanging out up the top and down the bottom. In fact, look how absolutely fabulously perfectly this bookmark goes with this journal. I'm in the process of making this journal for the person next on my wait list. So I think I'm going to keep this for this journal. But what I did with these laminated lace pieces is pretty much exactly the same thing. I might even prefer the idea of sturdy one rather than the floppy one. Does that make... I'm not sure that sounded the way I wanted it to. All right, stay on task. Okay, how does this look? Bookmark. I think I'm complicating things now, trying to explain something that needs no explanation. So you can have a bookmark with just the top thing, the standard thing, you know, with the thing up the top, or you can have 2 little charms attached to both ends so that it kind of sticks out on both ends of the journal. Idea number 11 is charms. Straightforward again. These little circles that when I used my die cuts from when I was creating the windows, I had, of course, you know, you have the negative and then you have the thing. So I made little charms. I'll bring them a little bit closer so you can see just a piece of the laminated lace, and then adding little things that I could find in my charms box. These are fishing swivels, I think they're called. I've shown them before. Get them from a $2 shop, and they look so beautiful as jewelry pieces, but they're actually for fishing. And then I have little things, you know, this came off of a necklace. Ask your friends, tell your friends not to throw any of their costume jewelry out, because you can use all of those little pieces. Look at all this. This is all costume jewelry. that one of my friends decided she doesn't want anymore, so she, of course, gave it to me. Look at all of these little pieces that I can, perhaps I can't wear this as a necklace because look, it's, you know, when it gets to this point, people chuck things out. Nobody wants to wear this necklace kind of thing anymore, you know. But look at all of these beautiful little pieces that I can remove and use in my journals. Just this one piece. Look at all of this. Look at these beautiful beads and like things like this, earrings, and we can pull all of this stuff apart. And then you have things like this, pendants, you get jump rings, you get the, I don't even know what this is, but I took it up. I don't know what it's supposed to be used for. I don't remember, but look how cool that looks. I love the fact that the bob pin sits flat because of the way this is at the back. Whereas like when you put a bob pin through something like this, the bob pin doesn't sit flat. Okay, that's really not that important to be mentioning in this video, but look at this, how beautiful. I think the lace coupled with a little something on top just makes the whole project worth doing, right? You can make little earrings. These would be cool earrings, right? Idea number 12 is page dividers in your planners. This is my old planner. I have all sorts of stuff in here, and with maybe personal stuff and who knows what, hopefully money. Yeah, no such luck. And up here we have the lacing. You can see it up here, and we can use that as a divider in our planner. And I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I know. Look at this. Oh, how cool is that? So all I did is punch some holes. You can see that. Used one of these guys, a hole puncher, I believe it's called, and then punch the holes corresponding to the holes of the planner I'm using, and then went in with my scissors and just cut a slit, just like so. So that way you can attach it to your planner very easily. So you can attach any acetate page this way, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think this would be cool as a dashboard. You can see here at the front, I also have this laminated piece of all the things like I wanted to do back in whenever this was, 2014. Get more organized. Did I? No, I did not. Inspire people rather than drain. And then we have some cringy ones like, this is my life and I am the driver. Okay. What I wanted to say, a lot of planners have this kind of a thing, a dashboard kind of a thing. You see this? That's pretty cool. And you can make your own. You can absolutely make your own using your laminated lace or just laminated sheets, and you can add it to your planner, and then you can have little sticky notes on here, this type of a thing, you know. I think it's pretty standard, but let's have a look at my list to de-stuckify. This is many years ago. This is actually 2015. So this was before I started making journals. And de-stuckify basically means when you're stuck, you know, when you're stuck and you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything, I can't be bothered. So I have my little list so I can refer to it when I'm feeling that way, which never really, like in theory, it sounds like something you want to do. But when you don't feel like doing anything, then you don't feel like doing any of your things on your, you know, on your list. Go for a walk or dance, watch a motivational YouTube video, declutter an area that always gets me motivated. Pick up the procrastination book and read. Pick up the Coach Yourself to Success book and read. I read that book. It's called Coach Yourself to Success by, I have no idea who, but I feel like it kind of changed my life a little bit, this book. Use the emotion burner. The emotion burner, I've spoken about this before in my channel. This is completely unrelated to the lace video, but basically what I used to do, I don't need to do it anymore because I feel like I've burned all the negative emotions. I have a metal bucket. It's a little bucket and it's metal. And I would grab a piece of paper and I'll go absolutely mental writing down all the crazy things that are in my head, things that I would never say out loud, you know, and just get them all out. And your mother will not grab the paper. You know, if you're really angry, you have some resentment build out, you have some fears, you can write down your worst fears. Like, just get it out, right? Rather than keep it in. And then you take the piece of paper and you light it up and you watch it burn and turn into ashes, and it's very, very, very healing. I thought I invented this, but then I saw other people doing it. So, you know, there was another thing I thought I invented the super glue and the tea bag method of mending broken nails. I thought that was my invention, but when I was overseas, I was talking to a friend, and she randomly mentioned how her beauty therapist, which I used to be a beauty therapist, mind you, her beauty therapist told her that you can do that. And I'm like, hang on a second, that is a my invention. Well, clearly not. What else do we have? Download new music. That's not something you do nowadays, is it? You just get Spotify. Doodle or draw mandala design or Zentangle. Well, 2024, 9 years later, and look at this. This is what I was doing last night as de-stress kind of a thing. Okay, coloring in a book. Who has time for that? Pamper session. That could be anything, really. All right, let's move on. One more thing I want to share, which is actually not this, but I had an Excel planner, so there must be something in here that I wanted to show you. I do know that I did this video, for a video, and I used laminating pouches, and I made a pocketbook. So this is laminating pouches and vellum. So I think I wanted to just mention that you can make this book. I have top loading pockets. You can see up here top loading, and then I have side loading, and all of these pockets are made from laminating sheets and vellum, but you can make the pockets laminating sheets and lace. Now this is contact paper, quite beautiful sparkly pink contact paper, this coloring book page, and you can use napkins. This is also vellum, or you can use lace. That's why I have this book. I'm going to link this tutorial. I did it as a tutorial down below. So if you want to make one of these ephemera hold up pocket books, you can. But idea number 13 and final idea for today is the buttons. I feel like I'm obsessed with buttons, and almost all of my videos lately have had some type of a button idea in them. You just cut out your shapes. I have a video on making button books. So let's have a look at some button books. These are actual buttons and I'm going to link this video as well down below. You can have actual buttons, or you can make buttons like I did here. I have a video on these oversized buttons. I know this is quite overwhelming, all this. I have a video on this, I have a video on this, I have a video on this, but I'm just sharing all of the ideas that get to me. So basically these are button booklets, and you can use your lace buttons as, you know, the thing for the cover for your button booklets. Or if you just want to do this kind of a thing, you can add this onto presents, use it to wrap presents, use it as embellishments on a page, or, you know, lots of things. Yes, lots of things. So to recap, we have project idea number 1, which is journal covers. Number 2 was belly bands. Number 3, we have pockets. Number 4, we have pouches done this way. You can even call this an envelope. Done that way or that way. This is quite easy, probably one of the easiest things to make. Project number 5 is bows. Project number 6 is tags. Project number 7 is windows. I think this is one of my favorite ones. You have to let me know which one is your favorite one. Project number 8 is tabs. Project number 9 is pen loop. Project number 10 is bookmarks. Number 11 is charms. Number 12 is planner page dividers. And last but not least is buttons. And this is all I have left. Just a few bits and pieces. Actually, to be honest with you, I have quite a bit left here. So I can make lots more projects, but I didn't really want to use up all of the lace, because then I would have to laminate some more. I have these stickers in here because I think they look really beautiful on lace. I was going to use them anywhere I put them. They look so exquisite. I was going to use them on bookmarks and on all sorts of stuff. I don't know why I didn't end up using them. I think it was quite a successful session Well, it wasn't really one session, let's be honest. It took, it took a few nights to make all of these things. And it was difficult at first coming up with ideas. But as you start doing one thing, then another idea pops in your head, and another and another. And I think I explored pretty much all the ideas that I had. So if you have any more ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, you can do all of these projects with laminated napkins or laminated anything really, scrapbook paper, wrapping paper, I don't know, tissue paper, I don't know. Please also let me know which one of the projects is your favorite. I generally love the feel of laminated, plasticky, laminated things. I like the fact that it has sound, it has shine. I have to say, looking at this is vellum, and see how this feels and looks. Maybe you can't really see how it feels, but you can imagine how this feels compared to this. There is something about laminated lace. The fact that it's not so rigid, there's still some air pockets inside, it gives it movement and crunchy sound, and I just love it. You might hate it, but if you do, you don't have to let me know. What you do have to let me know is which one of these projects is your favorite, and if you have any more ideas. And of course, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you feel inspired. Thank you for staying till the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.